Welcome back to another episode of the Pandemic Guitar Podcast, a show dedicated to the idea of isolating yourself to avoid illness with the ones you love, your guitars. We're your hosts. I am Tim, and on the other end of this social distancing Zoom call is Rick. How's your day going?
Not too bad. How's your day?
My day was kind of busy, but I got through it, and here we are. We're recording, which is what we like to do.
Yep, I know. I had my day was a little on the rough side, but all in all, it turned out okay.
When is your day not on the rough side?
It's just the company I work for. It's always rough.
Me too.
Yep.
So episode 3 is out.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit about cheap guitars versus expensive guitars.
Yep.
I thought it was a pretty good episode.
I did too.
And we talked a little bit about the differences in quality between cheap and expensive. And then we ended up talking about a project guitar. And
yes, we did.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know how you pulled it off, but amazingly, we do have some updates, and I think we'll leave that a little bit towards the end. So you know what I did do?
What's that?
That I don't normally do. I went to a concert here in my area, my neck of the woods, and that's not something that I normally do. But for whatever reason, and I think that this podcast is probably what kind of pushed me to go to a musical concert and kind of step out of my comfort zone.
Cool.
But I went to see Loverboy, Styx, and REO Speedwagon.
Cool. What'd you think?
Okay, so obviously Styx and REO Speedwagon are the headliners.
Okay.
Now, when I found out that Loverboy was like the opening act, or they were the first act to come out, I actually did have to go out on one of my music listening platforms to figure out what songs that they play. And it turns out I've heard quite a few of them. I just never knew they were Loverboy. So here's what I can tell you. Loverboy came on stage when the concert opened, and you couldn't hear anything.
Why not?
It was basically like, I don't know, listening to a boombox with a trash can on your head. You couldn't make anything out. You couldn't understand any lyrics or anything.
You're not supposed to be sitting outside in the parking lot.
I paid for the tickets. I did. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, because the other two bands didn't have any issues with audio. But for whatever reason, my wife and we just kept looking at each other like, I think I know that song, but I'm not 100% sure I know that song, because you couldn't tell.
Huh. Okay.
The one thing that made the Loverboy part of the concert good was the bassist.
Oh, really? Why? What did he do?
That is, okay, so the bassist is what drew your attention. When you're sitting or standing in the audience and you're looking at the stage, the bassist was all over the place. I had to second guess myself and be like, wait a second, are you playing the guitar or the bass?
Huh.
But he was playing the bass. Ken Sanavi? I'm sure I'm butchering the last name. Been with Loverboy since 2001. Totally stole the show. Almost kind of made me feel like I was watching AC/DC if everybody in AC/DC played the bass. So that was kind of interesting. I've never gone to a concert or really noticed the bassist stealing the show.
Wow. I've never seen it either, but I mean, it is possible.
Yeah. I mean, the guitarist was good. He just didn't seem like he had the energy to be there. He just was like, yep, I'm playing. And it got drowned out by the vocals, which got drowned out by the drums, which got drowned out by the bassist.
Wow.
So I don't know if I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, maybe whoever the lead singer of Loverboy is, maybe their voice is shot enough that they have to do that on purpose to make it enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, why?
it was just way off. And I was kind of thinking to myself, if this is what the entire night is going to sound like, it's a waste of money.
Right.
But it didn't. There was a slight intermission, and then Styx came on.
Okay. How are they?
Styx was good. Don't get me
Okay.
wrong. I'm not a
Uh-huh.
huge Styx fan,
Uh-huh.
but they were good. They were kind of theatrical a little bit.
Well, yeah, they have to put on a show, you know.
Yeah. It kind of actually, to be honest with you, watching Styx made me feel like I was watching Styx in Vegas.
Huh. Why is that?
Because it seemed Vegas cheesy. Like, you're in Vegas, so you can spend a lot more money and we can just do whatever and it's gonna be it is what it is.
Huh. How did they sound
You know.
compared to?
Oh, they sounded amazing. It
Really?
sounded to be honest with you, I think it sounded almost like you were listening to it on a CD, but a live version of that CD.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was good. What I didn't like is that they led up to Sail Away. And I hate that song. I don't know why. I don't like the sound of it. There's nothing about that song that I like. And I grew up with South Park.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're familiar with South Park, but it's a cheesy cartoon that is politically incorrect and makes fun of everything.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. So Cartman, one of the characters on that show, does a version of Sail Away. So no matter how you listen to that song, that's all you hear is Cartman from South Park singing that song.
Oh, wow.
I just cannot get that out of my head. That's what I process.
Right.
But REO Speedwagon, oh man, they were amazing. I really honestly wish that REO Speedwagon would have went before Styx.
You would have left?
And the only reason why is because it's a concert. There's a billion people there, over exaggeration, but a billion people there. So you kind of want to leave a little bit early
Right.
and try to beat the traffic, because it took us quite a bit to even get into the venue because of the traffic. So if you leave a little bit early, you can get out quicker.
Yep. Know the feeling.
So I was kind of bummed that we had to leave early and we missed probably a song or two of REO Speedwagon, but they were really good. I really like both Styx and REO Speedwagon. They both took a little bit of time between songs to give you a little bit of the band's history and where they were at when the next song they were going to play was created, and so on and so forth.
Oh, wow. Never seen that done before.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But it also kind of made me, and I'm not 100% sure because I didn't do my research on REO Speedwagon, but I did a little bit on Styx. And Styx is almost more of a company than it is a band, from my understanding, because people come and people go, and that's just the way of life. But if you're lucky enough to be part of Styx, you can go out and perform.
Yep.
You know, I never realized that. Like most of the bands that I know, you're either the original band member, and if somebody passes away or leaves or something like that, the band is pretty much gone.
True. Yeah. I know. I've seen that. That's nothing new. Some of the other bands were like Leonard Skinner. I mean, and Alice Cooper. You know, just they would just hire people to do the job. You know.
Well, yeah, but both of them, they're like, the band is the lead person's name.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I get that. You know, I mean, if your band is Leonard Skinnerd and you lose a drummer, you go out and get another drummer, you're still Leonard Skinnerd.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, but like to me, Styx, that's a band. If somebody leaves, the band is pretty much done.
Oh, okay.
You know, that
I,
was my mentality until I did watch the Styx concert, and I realized that people have come, people have gone, they've added people, and it's more of a business than it is just a group of guys that are hanging out and playing music.
that's true. Yeah. Well, they're there to make money.
Yeah. If you got the talent. It was
Yep.
really cool though. The lead singer of Styx, he had a piano on a swivel,
Yeah.
and he was just moving around it and swiveling the piano all around. I've never seen that before, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. Nice.
So, yeah, so Loverboy, Styx, REO Speedwagon. It For what it was a good concert. I realized that if I would have waited until the last minute to buy tickets, I probably could have gotten them for a third of the price.
Wow.
But there's no guarantee that you're going to be in that situation, right?
Right. And there's no
May
guarantee on the seating either.
Right. So you can sit and wait till the last minute and hopefully get a great seat with a great price, or you just say, I want to go see this band or this group or whatever and pay the price.
Right. You don't want to be in the nosebleed section.
Oh no. And there were people all the way up there. I was looking up at the ceiling and I'm like, I hope you brought your binoculars,
Yeah.
because
It's
I've been up in the nosebleed sections at this arena for hockey games.
right.
And I was like, never again. I'll pay a little bit more to get closer.
Right. Yeah. No, I know.
So I know that we're going to be going to the Joe Bonamassa concert. I think, is it in November?
It is mid-November. Yeah.
Yeah, mid-November. We're going to that. And that's at a different venue right next
Uh-huh.
door.
Right.
And I know you've gone to concerts or events there before. Do they allow you to take your cell phone in?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm all about having your cell phone on you because, in today's world, somebody gets into a car accident or your home security system's going off. If something's going on, you need to be contacted.
Correct.
But when you're going to a concert and you're paying money to go to that concert, you've paid for that experience. And I understand taking a couple pictures here and there for your memories, but what is it with people who go to a concert and record video after video after video?
Yeah, they're not supposed to do that,
Well, okay, they're not supposed to do it, but they
but they
do.
do. I know. I've seen it. I've actually, Mom and I went to a concert. I think it was, can't remember the name of the band that it was. It was a Christmas thing, and I keep on thinking of Electric Light Orchestra, but no, it was
Oh,
Madheim Steamrollers. It was.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
we went to see that concert. Very good. Actually, I really did like it. And there was a lot of people taking pictures there, and they had I'm not going to call them security guards, but they had people coming around and saying, put the phone away, put the camera away, and stuff like that. You were okay with maybe a picture or two,
Hmm.
but I mean, it got annoying for all the flashes going off and stuff like that. So
Yeah, because the where I was sitting was probably about 45 degrees was my angle to the concert or to the stage, which
yeah,
was fine. But the gal sitting to my right, one seat closer to the stage, especially when Styx came on, and I was blown away at the reaction to Styx compared to REO Speedwagon. I wouldn't have guessed that Styx was more popular than REO Speedwagon, but whatever.
yeah,
But she just kept popping her phone out and recording 30-second video after 30-second video. And it was annoying because I couldn't focus on the concert going on because the light of the phone kept pulling my eyes to the phone.
yeah, and that's the reason why people don't like that.
It's annoying. And I kind of wanted to just nudge her and be like, look, I get it. You want some sort of memory on your phone, but a picture will do, because that video in a venue, your audio's going to stink.
Yeah.
I mean, cell phone microphones aren't that great yet.
Nope.
So what are you going to do? You're going to show all your friends? Well, wait a second.
Yeah.
We paid to be here and experience this. Your friends didn't.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I agree. Some
you know,
people put it up on YouTube. I mean, I've seen stuff up on YouTube where they got
yeah.
2-minute videos.
Yeah. See, I don't like that. Like, full disclosure, I paid $350 for 2 seats.
Right.
I didn't take my cell phone out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be interrupted. I want to experience the show. And then you've got all these people running around with their cell phones taking pictures and videos, and it just ruins it.
Yep, it does. Same thing with, I went to a concert on the East Coast one time, and everybody just got up and started, they just got up and started watching, everybody in the whole stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just annoying. You couldn't sit down. You were standing, and, after a while you got tired. If you sat down, you didn't see anything.
Yeah, yep. And that happened during Styx while they were playing.
Yep.
I got a great view. The gal who was sitting next to me, all I could see was the people in front of me, which was the floor level that were all standing. And if I looked to the right, I was, I could see her rear end. And my wife was on the other side, so I just looked down.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, come on. Like, this is, and I get it. I could have stood up as well, but I'm not a Styx fan. Like, I wasn't that into it.
Right, right. So what else did you like about the concert, or what didn't you like? Or
Well, they did do a signed guitar. So they had a raffle. It
what
was
kind of guitar?
$20.
Uh-huh.
And for $20, you got to choose between a Styx CD or an REO Speedwagon CD. And I didn't want the CD because I haven't used a CD in more than 5 years.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of thought it was funny that they were basically selling CDs to make money. And at $20 a pop, mind you.
Yeah.
They were selling CDs in order to get a raffle ticket, in order for a chance to win a guitar signed by everybody in the 3 bands that played that night.
Cool.
Now, the benefit, all the proceeds went to, and if I get this wrong, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that it is a paraplegic veteran charity, which I think is a great idea. I think it's a great thing. Anything that goes to assist veterans that have diseases, illnesses, and stuff like that, I'm all for.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want the CD.
Right.
So and this was an Epiphone LP style. You could probably buy it brand new without the signatures for, I don't know, $150, maybe $200. It was a cheap guitar.
Okay.
But still, the idea behind it, I'm like, yeah, cool. All right. Well, so I just went up, and I happened to bring a handful of certain guitar picks with me. And so I went up and I said, hey, look, I'm going to give you $20. I want a raffle ticket. I don't want a CD, but this is my pick. And I want whoever wins this guitar to have my pick. And so my wife was with me, and the gal behind the counter was like stunned, shocked, didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. So my wife's like, he's got a guitar podcast and he's trying to promote it.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know, because we left a little bit early, so I don't know who won, and I don't know if whoever won actually got my pick.
Uh-huh.
But that was fun. That was kind of comical. And then obviously, because I was in that area, I just happened to I think somebody that was standing around asked me about the pick, and so I started talking to them, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a brand new podcast we're on." I think at that time I was like, "Episode 3 is coming out this week, so on and so forth." I'm like, "Do you play?" He's like, "Yeah, I mean, not good, but I play." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you got to have a pick."
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Those
Uh,
special picks.
yeah, very very special picks. They improve your playability by 0.00001%.
I see. And
Yes.
I think you put them up on a picture of them up on Instagram too.
I did. I did. We put that up on Instagram a couple days ago. I don't depends on when this episode comes out. I'm not sure, but I did throw the picture out there, and they are we have them. They are a extremely limited edition pandemic guitar podcast pick,
It's got
and
the
yeah.
logo and everything on it.
Yep, yep. So this year, because I would really like to do a different pick every year.
Okay.
So this year it's extremely limited. I think I did a run of 200 I think 200.
Okay. I thought it
And
was
I
one. Oh no,
oh,
you
go.
did do 200.
Yeah, it was 200. It was
Okay.
single-sided, single color,
Right.
because we do this for free, and I didn't know exactly what it was going to turn out or look like. So I tried to stay at a fairly modest cost. But yeah, so this year we did 200 of them, and there are some people out there that we've sent a few pics just to show our support. And I know that as we walk around and we meet and greet people, we're going to give them out,
Uh-huh.
and maybe there's something special for some lucky listeners in the future. I'm not going to give any details, but maybe there's a way you could get some.
Wow, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everybody wants to improve their playability by 0.00001%.
Right. They are nice picks though.
Yeah, they are. They turned out really well. And I'm really excited to see what next year's pick looks like too.
We'll have to change the color.
Yeah, we'll have to do
And
something different.
you know what we'll
It'll,
do is also put the year on there too.
ooh, that's a good idea.
Instead of just have something that will, every year we come out with one and it'll just designate, the
Hmm,
difference in the years.
I like that. I like that idea a lot. I think we will do that.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things, because I did go to this concert, and I know we're spending a lot of time on this topic.
Uh-huh. That's fine.
One of the things that I've said in the past is that I am not a big fan of heavily populated venues or areas where there's a lot of loud noise.
Okay.
And I bought a pair of hearing protection. I can't think of the name right off the top of my head, but that doesn't matter. But they were featured on Shark Tank, the TV show,
Okay.
and I really liked them. They worked really well. But they were clear plastic with white. The bud that stuck in your ear was white.
Okay.
So obviously, it didn't take long for them to get dirty and gross.
Right.
But whatever, they're in my ears. They don't go in anybody else's ears. But I could not find them. I swore that I saw them a day or two before the concert. I couldn't find them. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. And the concert wasn't horrible, but I did get a headache.
Okay.
So that led me to start looking at purchasing a new pair of hearing protection
Okay.
for concerts, especially like, I mean, I don't know how the Joe Bonamassa concert's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be super loud or if it's going to be the perfect volume or whatever. So I started doing some research and trying to find a new pair of hearing protection, and hearing protection that is specifically designed for concerts and venues and loud events.
They
You
do
just
have them.
Yeah, they do. I've been looking at a couple of possible options. So I didn't know if you utilized hearing protection when you go to the events, or or if you know of have a good recommendation.
No, I really don't. I do know that they have them, and you got to sort of look at the reviews and everything and to decide which is better and which isn't. But when Mom and I went to that one concert, it wasn't loud. I mean, it was a comfortable level.
Oh,
At least that's what I thought. But
no, that ain't
this
bad.
is this is Joe Bonamassa.
So he's gonna crank it up, huh?
I don't know. I mean, let me put it this way. I know that Yngwie Malmsteen, if he ever came here, he would crank up all those Marshalls he has, and you'd definitely have a hearing problem afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. So I am in the market for hearing protection that makes sense, that doesn't super break the bank. But if I go to a concert and the volume is a little bit too loud, I'm looking for a good set of venue hearing protection. So if anybody that's listening has any suggestions or thoughts or anything like that, hit us up at on Instagram at Pandemic Guitar or pandemicguitar at icloud.com. I'm really interested to hear if anybody gets back and says, hey, these are great hearing protection, I use them all the time, anything like that.
Yeah, I'd like to know what a good brand is.
Yeah. Well, and for me, being in the military and doing 2 deployments and being around loud trucks, loud generators, loud bangs and booms, um, you know, sometimes that loud volume after a short period of time just starts to get to me. And
Uh-huh.
once that point is hit, then I'm not going to enjoy myself no matter what.
Yeah, I'll wear them around the house.
Yeah.
That way, when Mom calls me or something like that, she says, "Can't you hear anything?" I'll just say, "Nah, I can't."
Speaking of which, I'm always listening to the radio, and everything like that. And when I posted the picture of the pics, somebody popped back and said, "Oh, he's the kid." Because no, actually, that was a different one. I'm sorry, it was the one after that where I took a picture, I put it up there. It was my cat with a guitar pick.
Uh-huh.
And somebody popped up and they're like, "Oh, he wants you to learn Cat Scratch Fever." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
There you go, Ted Nugent.
But I was listening to the radio today, and a song. I took a screenshot of what was on the radio. "House of Broken Love" by Great White.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you know it. But I think
I've heard it.
I'm gonna look that up because I think that's the next tune I'm gonna try to learn something from.
Okay, sounds cool. I thought you were going to say Ted Nugent.
Well, that's Cat Scratch Fever.
Yep.
So I know. So there you go. I know you know that one.
Yeah, that one I know.
But yeah, that was the concert. It really was.
Well, it sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah, it was good. I was happy to get out and see a venue. I do like that it was an indoor venue, and
Okay.
you're only there because you paid to get in. I've seen some outdoor venues, and there's like zero control in an outdoor venue.
Yep. I'll go for that.
Kind of, I like the control aspect of it.
Right. Not only that, if it rains, you don't have a problem.
Well, in the military, if it's not raining, you're not training.
That's true. Yeah.
So let's jump over to what
Okay.
everybody really wants to hear about.
Well, I hope they want to hear about it.
So let's talk Project Guitar.
Yeah, that's something that I found. It was an interesting find. I was looking around. I put the word out that I was looking for something really cheap, and
And you must have a lot of friends because that was pretty quick turnaround.
yeah, I know a lot of people, but the funny thing is that I went to the it was a store I got it from,
Mm-hmm.
It was marked as $71 and some change. I think 71.99 or something like that.
Right.
And it was a Squire Infinity. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I thought that it was going to be a Squire LE,
right,
but it actually, and that was based on the headstock for me,
right,
but
right.
it actually had a serial number.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it actually had a serial number, and the what happened was is that I went in there and I was talking to the guy, and I happened to I've done business with this place before, and I happen to I'm not going to mention his name, but I happened to talk to him quite a few times, and he knows me, and so I basically tried to walk in there, even though it was not possible. I tried to walk in here and like act like I didn't know anything.
Right.
So it
That's
was quite an
that, that
interesting thing.
that's a funny point too, because you're like, I'm gonna walk in, I don't know anything. You walk into this place and everybody knows you, so
Yep,
you can't.
just about. Yeah,
Yeah.
just about everybody knows me. So I walk in there and I asked to see this particular guitar that they had hanging, and it just showed up the day before, well, actually the night before. So I mean, they have to hold the guitar for a certain length of time before they can put it out on the floor,
Yeah. Do
just
they
in
have
case.
to do what pawn shops do and like run it through a police database to make sure it's not stolen or anything like that?
I I don't know all the gist to it, but I'm sure that they have to do something like that because when they buy something, purchase it used, somebody walks in. I know that they do ask you for your license, and you have to sign papers and stuff like that, and
Okay.
they have to run it through something.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they have to keep it in the back, so I don't know how long they had it. But anyhow, yeah, it was a Squire Affinity, and I the guy handed it to me, and well, he says, you sort of know what it's about. And I said, well, I said, tell me something about it. And he said, well, he says, what do you want to know? And I said, well, I said, it looks pretty good. I said, I looked at the neck, looked to see if the neck was straight, because if the neck is warped, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't even sell it if the neck is warped, just sell it for parts, I believe. But I've seen places sell warped stuff.
That's
Not
crazy.
not often, but it does happen. And there's it may be in another video. No, I'm sorry, not video. Another episode we can talk about bait and switch, which is a
Oh
common
yeah, that would be a good one.
thing. Well, you gotta really watch it. So
Yeah.
especially when you're ordering it from out of state or something like that. And but anyhow,
Well,
make it
well, it did, but didn't happen
with
on. Well, I guess maybe I wouldn't call it bait and switch, but I've ordered something from an out of state box store and it got shipped to me, and it was exactly what I got, but when I got it, it didn't have any knobs on the pots. It didn't have the tip on the selector switch,
right.
and but in the picture, it did.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, they made it right. They gave me a set of knobs and a. It wasn't the correct one, but it was at least a cover for the switch.
Right. Yeah, they usually make good for it. Anyhow, I was talking to him a little bit, and I said, "What's wrong with it?" And he said, "Well," he says, "how much detail did you want to know about it?" So I said, "Well, tell me all." So he says, "Well, it has the action is a little high, but it's okay." And he said that there was something wrong with the wiring, or not the wiring, but the electronics and
Mm-hmm.
the potentiometers and the switch in the guitar. So I asked what it was, and he said it was scratchy. When you turn the controls, you got some scratchy stuff. So they rated the guitar as fair condition. It was on the low end of fair, what I would
Mm-hmm.
consider the low end. Maybe they thought it was mid range, but so I looked it over a little bit, and I thought, well, it's not going to really cost too much to fix up. We'll get it. Sort of thought maybe $50 would fix it up and get it at least in playing condition. Even though it is in playing condition,
Not in the
it's
best playing
that's
position.
correct. Yeah. And the other thing is that on the back the tuner covers that covers up the gear was
Oh,
missing.
yeah. Okay.
So, and these things, I should go into a little more detail. It's a Chinese guitar, and the serial number is on the neck, and it was from the year 2000, and the guitar was in for the year 2000. It was I thought in good condition, just needed a lot of cleaning and stuff like that, which I have
Right.
not done yet. I have not. I just got some parts in to fix it up, and
Yeah.
I'm going to strip it down and see what I get.
So
But
when you were in the box store, did you hook it up to like an amp and play it?
no, I didn't. If they told me, I mean, let me put it this way: the guy, I knew the guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he's honest. He told me up front what was going on with it. I mean, what is it? What is it going to prove? He's right.
Right. Yeah.
I knew that
Well,
there was
I
some
just
work
didn't
in it.
know if he's saying that, well, there's some scratchiness to it. I didn't know if maybe you're like, well, let me make sure that that's what you would get, or what I would get.
Right.
But you said that it was on the shelf for like $72.
Yeah, 71.99. Yeah.
What did you actually get it for?
Oh well, that's pretty funny because what I did was, I said to the guy, I said, hey, I said, can we just make it $70 even? And then the guy says, he says, you want $2 off? And I said, yeah, just make me happy. And he
Well, two
says to me,
dollars is a lot in today's economy.
yeah, I know, but he says, yeah, he says I can do that. So he said he had to get the manager out, and the manager came out, and I was talking to her for a little bit, and I said, oh, I said, hey, this is going to be a project guitar for a podcast, and you know, I said, just went on, told her a little bit about the podcast, and then she said, oh, you just want $1, you basically want $2 off, and I said, well, I said, you can give me more if you want. And
Right.
and she said, well, she says, let me see what we paid for it. And then she looked and she's like, oh, she didn't tell me how much she paid for it, but
Right.
or how much they paid for it. But she says, oh, you know what? We can give it to you 65 bucks.
Nice.
So I got it for 65 bucks plus $4 tax. So it came out to just figure $70. We'll round it off. So I got
Yeah.
the whole thing. And then the guy says to me, the kid says, well, the guy, one of the associates there says to me, "Oh, look at that! It comes with a case."
No, it did?
Yeah. So I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh," I said, "Well, I'll take the tweed one over in the corner there." They said, "No, not really." They said you're going to pay for that one. I
Right.
said, "Well,"
Yeah,
I said,
that's
"It comes
like
with a case."
was that like the $200 case?
It was it was a tweed, the Fender tweed ones.
Yo. Yeah, they're
So they're
nice. They're
expensive.
sharp.
Oh yeah, they're nice. So he went in the back, and after a little bit, he comes back, and he's got a gig bag. It was, something to carry it in.
That's nice. So, and I go to the guitar box store, and I don't get those experiences at all. Like if I ask for a discount, chances are the price just went up.
Yeah. I know.
So, so yeah, I don't know how you do it. And you've told me a bunch of stories where
Oh yeah.
you've just been able to get a great deal. And actually, and I can't remember if we mentioned this or not, but my Squire, I
Yeah.
went in and I had cash in my pocket, and nobody said hi or acknowledged my existence for an hour. And then all of a sudden, I get a phone call from you the next day, like, I'm at Guitar Box, come meet me. And I show up, and I think you got that down to like $85.
Yeah. It was I think 130 or something.
Yeah, 100,
Something like that.
150, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I got it down to I forgot what I got it down to, but
I
yeah.
want to say it was like $85. I know
Really?
it was sub 100. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I got
Yeah.
more money in my pocket now,
Yeah.
so I think
So
I bought the pair of headphones I'm actually
Yeah.
wearing.
Yeah, you bought headphones and you bought something else too.
Yeah, probably some extra strings. I don't know.
Yeah. But
So after you found the project guitar and you got it home, you
Right.
didn't know it was what, a 2000, so that'd be 22 years old until after you got home, right?
that is correct. Yes. I didn't know I knew it was a Squire affinity. I didn't really look at the serial number. I did see it there,
Well,
but I
those
really
serial
didn't notice.
numbers are like sort of cryptic.
Yeah, and I thought it was the thing is that it had a fairly it had the not the big heads, not the big fender headstock. It had the smaller headstock,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a newer one, a newer Affinity Squire.
See, I
And
didn't think because the newer affinities, all of them that I've seen, have the word affinity on the headstock.
right,
And that's why I was like, there's no way that's an affinity. That's
right,
probably an SC because typically the affinity or the bullet will say what it is, and there was nothing. And in my experience, those are SEs, which is the Squire that comes in the kit where you get a gig bag and an amplifier and string. You get the whole 9 yards. Like if you buy it, you're suddenly Jimi Hendrix.
true, yeah, hmm I
For
know,
$350.
I know. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know, and then I had a conversation with my brother Ed. I have two brothers. One's Tom and one's Ed. And I had a conversation with him, and he told me that it was Chinese. It was year 2000, and told me a lot of things, a lot more things about the Squire thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about Squires. Fenders, yep, not a problem with Fenders, but Squires, I just never got into them.
Right. Well, I mean, they've gained popularity over the years
Yes.
just because they're. I mean, in all reality, they're a cheap alternative to a Fender, maybe some different woods, but
Mhm.
if you're not somebody who believes that wood is going to change your tone, then you can fully upgrade everything about a Squire and make it just as good, in my
You
opinion.
you can. This particular Squire, I did some research on it, and I found out the only thing that is there's basically two problems with it. One is that when if you overtune, in other words, tune too high, the tuners will slip, and once they start slipping, you have a problem. Needless to say, I
Yeah.
have a funny feeling that's the reason why the cover was missing on the low E string
Yeah, they're
because
cheap tuners.
yeah, the cheap tuners. So I got a new set of tuners. Matter of fact, I have them right here, right beside me, basically. And the other thing is the bridge or the tremolo system
Mm-hmm.
and the floating tremolo system. And this is a 8 screw. It's got 8 screws going into the body. So it's an older type floating tremolo system. The new ones have two, one on each side. That supposedly is better, and I believe it probably is. But this one has 8 screws. It's the old style. The only thing wrong with it is the weight that's underneath where the springs connect.
Mm-hmm.
That big weight. Well, it's pretty small. It's pretty thin.
Yeah.
So to get a bigger weight might be
Yeah.
beneficial.
But isn't the Squire body thickness different than Fender?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Okay.
but
Because I
oh
think you said something to me about that one time.
yeah, the Squire is a little thinner. Okay. However, this particular Squire, the body is made the same thickness as the fenders.
Oh wow.
So
So now
um,
you have plenty of options.
yes, the tremolo system, the piece that's in the back that holds the springs is it's about 3/4 of an inch from the top of it. So there's plenty of room in there.
Hmm.
So evidently they just put a cheap tailpiece in there.
I mean that's how you save. You make a cheaper product by putting some cheaper parts in there, and then you
Right.
know.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the body is older, but it could be. I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure.
So have you done anything with it? You just got it and just kind of looked at it. Have you started cleaning it or anything?
Nope. Nope. I
No.
haven't done much with it.
So overall, okay. So you found the project guitar.
Okay.
What are you thinking that you're going to fix? What are you thinking you're gonna do?
Well, I got the tuners. Tuners are going to be replaced. That's no question about that.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
yeah, the
I
whole
couldn't
the
I couldn't sit there with one tuner like having being open,
well, the problem is that the Chinese, those Chinese tuners are a different ratio. I think they're like 10 to 1. I could be wrong about that.
You
And
lost
then
me.
yeah, that's in other words, you turn the tuner 10 times for one revolution
Oh,
of the
okay,
string.
that makes sense.
The peg.
Yeah.
So, but the new one is 15 to 1. The new tuners I got, so it's going to be easier to. It's going to take longer to tune it up, but
Yeah.
it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
So I did not get locking tuners. I just got regular. I got Fender. Actually, I got Fender tuners. I got
Okay.
I got the low end Fender tuners for it. So, but I think that I know that that I noticed about it was the back cover that covers the springs, the tremolo system. That is a solid white, one ply, white piece of plastic. The
Mm-hmm.
guitar body is black. The front pick guard is 3 ply, and that threw up a bunch of red flags there
Okay.
because I
Three
think
ply meaning it's
it's
like three
white.
pieces of plastic pressed together.
Yes, it's
Okay.
what it is. It's a white. I'm sorry, it's white, black, white, and it's put on there. It gives it like an edge, a ring around it.
Okay.
Okay, where I believe that the original one was one piece white, so
Mm-hmm.
not a 3 ply. So I'm not sure what I'm going to find underneath there. I did take it. I did take some of the screws out. I took a peek at it. I could see that the pickups are ceramic,
Okay.
but that's all I can tell. Well, the potentiometers or the pots that are in there, the volume and two tones are the small, very small ones. They're the cheap Chinese stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's seems to be the first thing that I always replace.
yeah, so they're going to have to be replaced. And I did pick up CTS pots for it,
Mm-hmm.
potentiometers. So I got 3 of those, and I got a new switch for it. And as I go through it, I'll just throw some new stuff in there and see what we got.
Yeah, there
But
you go. You'll have to keep me updated. Make sure you take lots of pictures because
I am.
I think what we'll do is we do have actually we'll put some pictures. We'll give a little bit of information out on Instagram just to kind of
Okay.
keep people updated. But we do have a page on buymeacoffee.com. And currently, we're not withholding any of our articles or pictures or anything like that. It's open to the public. You can go out and read stuff. However, you do have the option to support us and the many projects that we're going to be doing in the future. You can do currently, I think we kept it at $2 a month if you want to become a monthly subscriber, which there is or will be some benefits, or you can just do a one-time donation in increments of $5. Not mandatory. We're not trying to shill, but it does help us, and it also allows us to get some of the fun stuff that we're doing out to you, because not everybody has Instagram. Because that's it. We're just Instagram. Buy me a coffee. That's all we are right now.
Yep.
So do you have anything else that you want to let us know about the project guitar?
Well, I think what I'm going to do the first thing is I'm going to take apart the neck. In other words, I'm going to swap the tuner. I'm going to take the strings off. The strings are rusted, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, when it's 22 years old,
I don't think they were ever replaced.
that
They,
blows my mind. If they have never once been replaced, like, how would you? I mean, I know you can do it, but if I'm going to swap out my pick guard, because that's what we think, right?
yeah,
If the pick guard has been replaced,
right.
if it were me, I would just be like, let's go ahead and swap strings. I mean, they're 22 years ago. What was a pack of strings like $1.50?
Well, they may have been swapped. It might have been done
Yeah,
by somebody.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
when
I find it hard to believe that it's the original set of strings.
well, all I know is that there's plenty of corrosion on the low E,
Yeah.
The high E is fine, but what's really remarkable is I did check. I did look at the frets pretty thoroughly, and I have not
Mm-hmm.
seen any problems, any wear in the frets. There's no like grooves or wearing of the crown on those. The frets there. The top, the crown is the top part of the fret. It's
Mm-hmm.
not flat or anything like that. So it's hard for me to believe that maybe at first it was played and then it was just left. Matter of fact, I'm going to probably have to clean the frets, polish them, get them. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do a. I'm not gonna bring them down like I normally do. Really get them a mirror shine on them, but I'm
Right.
gonna get them close. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get all the garbage off of them, and then the fretboard needs to be oiled. A fretboard is very dry and dirty. A lot of and it's not. I thought at first it was the grease from somebody's hands. On the fretboard. It's actually dust.
Mm-hmm.
So dust. It must have been laying down or laying flat or something like that for a long period of time. So I'm gonna take. I'm gonna.
That's crazy. I mean, just to imagine that it could have been just sitting in a corner of a house for all these years, and then finally somebody came in and said, "Well, what do I do with this? Well, let's see
Right.
what."
Well, I'm glad they sold it back to a store, and
Mm-hmm.
it can be a lot of that stuff ends up in the garbage.
Yeah, and that's I made that point to you not too long ago that some of these, especially the uh, quote unquote cheaper guitars, they
Right.
they just end up in the trash,
Yep. I know people
because
people don't know what
nobody
to do with them.
wants to salvage them or fix them. For me, I want to learn these things, so I would rather do it on a cheap guitar, and
Right.
if I mess it up, then whatever.
Right.
I don't want to. You don't want your first fret job to be on a $1,600 Gibson.
Yeah. I know. And yeah. And the thing is that like I said, I had an SG a long time ago when I was growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
it ended up in the shop for a long time, and they finally got it back to me. But the fender is the one thing. The one reason why I like fenders is you just pop the neck off, put another neck on.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but that's one of the things I'm
that's
going to
why I
do.
like that's why I like the bolt-on necks.
Yep. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the neck off. Make sure that the neck belongs to the body. Hoping that there's some sort of number underneath. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if Squire did that. Especially Japanese.
I don't.
I'm sorry, Chinese.
Well, if that old, maybe.
You never
I don't
know.
on the newer stuff. Probably not. I know Samick at one point in time they would put the serial number on the neck and it was a sticker. Then they started put like actually engraving it on the neck plate.
Right.
And then they went back to a sticker on the headstock, and then they would also put the serial numbers in the pickup cavity.
Ah,
But
nice.
it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do maybe the next episode we do. I'll talk about the neck and what I did with it and stuff like that. And then the next episode after that, I'll get into the body, pulling that all apart, taking it all off, cleaning it. The paint is really, I mean, the paint is really nice on the body. I know it's poly.
Mm-hmm.
It's in very good condition. Just a few little tiny scratches around the horns of the Strat. So
Mm-hmm.
the bottom and the bottom part of the guitar and the one horn, there's a few little scratches. But other than that, not much work there.
Yeah, that's for 22 years old. It sounds like it's in pretty decent condition. So
Yeah.
hopefully it won't be too invasive of an operation.
Oh, the setup will probably be because of right now. It's not the setup is not quite correct.
Mm-hmm.
They have it. They have the tremolo system actually pulled down to the body. The springs are in the back are too tight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing I was really surprised was I got the whammy bar with it.
No way.
Yep. That
You'd
was a surprise.
never get the whammy bar.
I know. I know. Guy says, "Oh, I found the whammy bar for it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take that."
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you never get the whammy bar. That's the first thing that always gets lost.
Yep. It always does.
Yeah, we'll come back in 2 weeks, and we'll talk a little bit more about the project guitar and whatever else is going on.